From the prototypical AAU dad to a polarizing international media personality, Lavar Ball has shaken up the basketball world to say the least. Despite his ever-constant outspoken persona, I truly think there's a method to the madness. With his firstborn Lonzo starting at point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, and his two younger boys showing off their skills in, you guessed it, a professional league in Lithuania, hard to argue against Lavar, regardless of how brash he may be. But how did all this media frenzy surrounding the Ball family come to the forefront of a modern-day pop culture in such a Kardashian-esque way? So what I've decided to do is map out a timeline of Lavar's carefully calculated ridiculousness. Now, the first outlandish thing, and it's actually not that crazy considering it was very possible, was during ESPN's broadcast of UCLA vs. Portland in November of 2016, in which he was interviewed during the game claiming that UCLA would in fact win the national championship, and you could book it right then and there. Now, this isn't that out of bounds, but definitely enough to stir up some interest around himself and his son. But this was just the beginning. Flash forward a couple of months, and in January of 2017, Lavar let TMZ Sports know that since day one, he's always told his boys since they were babies, someone has to be better than Jordan. Why not you? Some grandiose motivation without a doubt, but still not enough to make our heads explode. Now, this third point is where everything starts to hit the fan. On February 15th of 2017, Lavar tells TMZ Sports again that his son Lonzo will be better than the two-time MVP and two-time NBA champion, Steph Curry, not to mention the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. A month later, Lavar claims back in his heyday, he could beat Michael Jordan, the MJ. The absurdity of the statement goes beyond logical understanding, but once again, the sports news cycle blew up. Flash forward, following UCLA's loss in what they failed to advance past Kentucky in the Sweet 16, Lavar strikes again, claiming that his son cannot win with white boys on his team because their foot speed is too slow. So now things have shifted from just basketball to perhaps racial discussions. Flash forward again, prior to the start of the 2017 NBA draft, in which Lonzo is a predicted top 3 choice, Lavar is seen on Colin Cowherd's show interrupting his co-host, Christine Leahy, telling her to, quote, "stay in your lane." The actions by Lavar are seen as sexist, causing even more of a stir outside the game of basketball. Now here we are in the present day, and Lonzo is the starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most storied franchises in the world of sports. His younger sons LaMelo and LiAngelo are still playing professionally in Lithuania, with their games being viewed by thousands via Facebook Live. And the family hosts one of the most successful reality shows in the country via Facebook as well. Say what you want about Lavar, but the man is laughing all the way to the bank. I think Lonzo sums it up perfectly when he was quoted saying, "Everything my dad does is definitely planned. So even if people think he's crazy, he knows what he's doing." Lavar has given up caring what people think. And maybe that isn't such a bad move for him, considering he dominates headlines and essentially always has a free and stable platform to promote his big baller brand. How do you ruffle feathers across mainstream media? Go against the social norms. Call out the greatest basketball player of all time and exclaim you can beat him. Call out the greatest shooter of our time and of all time and say your son is going to be better. Appear to be sexist. Example, Christine Leahy on Colin Cowherd. Appear to be racist. Example, calling out the white UCLA players alongside Lonzo. Whether or not Lavar is actually one of those 3 things or 4 things or however many things we want to call him, I don't think he actually is, and I think it's all planned. So there is a method to all this madness.